chances that I missed. Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSGI. Turning down the Ridgetop Ramblers. Guys, they sang us in. We're just going to hush them up because, oh my goodness. Hey, okay. I'm U-Turn Laverne. This is 1100 WSGI, and this is one street over. Y'all know how I forget to say the things, but good morning. I hope you've got power. I heard from a friend of mine up in Ridgetop last night, Ginger. She still didn't have power. I was so shocked, but there's a lot of folks still out without power, and I didn't get mine until Sunday, but man, I was lucky. There's a lot of folks still without power. Acesa Brewer's in the house. Oh my goodness, brother. I am so glad to meet you. How's your family? Do you have power?
Yes.
You
we
got
have power. We have power the same night.
Oh, you did? So
yes.
It did go out for a bit?
Yeah, 4 hours, 5 hours was tops, but
yeah,
it was back on. Yeah, it was back on.
Mine was out for... it went out midday on Friday, about noon, and came back on 10 or 11 on Sunday.
Man.
So, yeah. But no, I've got friends that are still without power. And it's like, wow. And so, anyway, hang in there, you guys. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you got to hang in there.
Hang in there. Well, my friend, she's just like, I'm going to get the hotel and all that. Because, we had a generator, so we fared pretty well.
Yeah.
But, okay, why is Asa here? This is my new friend. I'm so excited about Asa.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. So I have a student, Jorge, that was in my class at audio video production at Greenbrier.
Man.
And he's like, Miss Vivio, you got to meet my friend Asa. And so I was asking you, because I never really asked him how y'all met.
Yeah.
And tell me, so y'all met at the Y?
Yeah, we met at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Yes, we met at the YMCA, and then we just came acquainted. And, we connected, on a spiritual level, and he's been my friend ever since.
I love it, because this is a spiritual place. This is a Christian broadcast facility. You know all that.
Yeah.
And so
I felt it when I come in here.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And here's the fun thing. Okay, so this just amazes me. And I told him, I said, you impressed me the minute you walked in the door, because this young man, okay, we've been trying to make this connection, have him on. I had him scheduled last week, and I forgot the mayor was on, so I had to reschedule him. He was very gracious, and we put him in on this slot. And so I'm messaging you last night because I don't know you. And I'm like, okay, is he going to, and I knew you were a young person. And I was like, is he going to get up that early? Is he going to make it in? Because, I mean, you got to be at the studio early.
Yeah.
And so, you messaged me this morning. It's like, well, where is this place? And I thought, I said, well, I'll be right there. Because you had said something about FaceTiming me and I was driving.
Yeah.
I didn't get your story yet.
Yeah.
So I pulled in the parking lot and there's a car out here. And so I'm like, is that you? And I call you, and he's like, "Oh, I'm walking." You walked here this morning.
Yeah.
Bless your sweetheart. He walked like a 30, 40-minute walk here.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord that you were close enough you could do that.
Yeah.
Because you live here in town.
Yeah.
So
I live by the railroad tracks, like by Uptown area.
up kind of in the depot area?
Yeah, it's about a mile from that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because you came in from the back way.
Yeah.
So did you come in from the up top of the hill, right?
Yeah.
So you must know the back roads.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because we came in.
I was trying to figure out how you came in from that area. So
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I was just following the GPS.
Okay.
Yeah, GPS said walk. It said 39 minutes. Okay. Then I just walked.
You're so sweet. I love that. I mean, come on, people. Don't whine about getting up out of the bed. This young man gets up and walks here 40 minutes just to be on this radio show. I need to just shut up and let you talk. 'Cause, I mean,
No.
I am so impressed with you, young man.
Yeah.
Acesa Brewer, y'all. Acesa Brewer. I mean, God bless you. I love this. So here's the reason he's here. I was talking with Jorge, and he had said that you are interested in podcasting and all of that, and you're already starting to podcast.
Yeah, I already started. It just a week ago. 5 episodes in.
You're okay. So what's the content? What is it about? What's your?
My podcast is about it. What is the most traumatizing experience and what changed it, and what now where you at in life is so. And what's your David and Goliath moment?
Ooh, I love that. What's your David? So what's the title?
The title, Brewer's Corner. Brewer's
Corner. His name is Acesa Brewer. So Brewer's Corner. What's your David and Goliath moment? I love that. That is
you
awesome.
talking about mine?
Huh? Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I love that that's the content, but sure, what's yours?
Oh, man.
Have you thought about it? You're asking the question, so what's yours? Yeah, I think that's a Holy Spirit thing that just kind of prompted you to that, right?
My David and Goliath moment is about 3.5 years ago. It was about, I had a major stroke.
Oh, wow. A young man like you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
God bless you.
And
wow.
it turned for the best.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to go through that phase in life.
Wow.
I had to go through that. Like, it was just me and God.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's my trauma, but my trauma equals triumph.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, be inspired, people. 27 years old, major stroke, his trauma equals triumph. God bless you. Oh my gosh, you're just gonna make me cry. This is awesome. Bless your heart. Oh, I'm so impressed with you, young man.
Yeah.
Well, when I pulled up and realized he walked here, I said, okay, we got to find you something to do at the radio station. I'll call you and I'll say, hey, I got a young man you got to meet.
Yeah.
But because I mean, you've got the broadcast bug. This facility is a worldwide broadcast company via the internet. Okay, I mean we broadcast we cover Robertson County and the counties around us with the 1100 WSGI. It's an AM signal. So the terrestrial signal is modest. It's not. There are signals that cover half the globe, but this one covers this area very, very well.
Man.
And you get you some sponsors, come in here and do this, and this could be a place you could facilitate your podcast out of. You could bring because you said you did an interview in Starbucks the other day.
Last night.
Who did you interview?
Oh, Jason, and he was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling me about his story.
Okay.
And his story was phenomenal.
You want to tease it a little bit? Or do you want to wait for your podcast release?
Yeah, no, I got it up this morning.
Oh, you got it. Okay, how can we find you? Just in any podcast platform?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts.
Okay.
That's it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but Apple and Spotify is the platform right now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's where you need to be.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where you need to be.
Yeah.
So
Brewer's
that's wonderful.
Corner, BREWER, and then CORNERS.
Okay. Brewer's Corners. So
Yeah.
it's got an S on the end of it?
Yeah, yes.
Brewer's Corners. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll make sure and I'll try to find the link and put it up in comments. But if anybody out there is listening that can find me the link and put that up in comments for me, that would be fabulous. So we can put people in touch with Asa. I just love that you're brand new to podcasting. And see, we're getting ready to do this at school. And we're gonna be we're gonna do one about the Bobcats, of course. You know,
Okay.
we're gonna do the Greenbrier Bodcast. You know, playing on the Bobcat word. You just got to. There's actually a Bodcast out there now, but we can be the Greenbrier Bodcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that and just talk about things going on around school.
Yeah.
But we're also going to do one on history. I want to get history from the kids' perspective. I do too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And where we came from and where we're going
That's
now.
the title of it. Who we were. Who we were is what we're going to do. Well, you can come on and be a guest sometimes. And because we're going to, the students, all I'm challenging them to do is come up with things that they want to cover.
Yeah.
And they've got to have their facts together. They got to do their show prep, and they've got to come with reliable content. You can't just say, "Well, I heard this." No. We got to have
what's your source?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's
exactly.
your source? Yeah.
I love this. Acesa Brewer, graduate of Springfield High School and proprietor of Brewer's Corners.
Yeah.
And you can find it on Apple and Spotify. So you're four episodes in, or 5?
No, 5. I just did 5 last night.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Man,
that's so cool.
It's going crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's going crazy. Like, I just launched it Saturday. Like, last Saturday, I did 5 episodes in.
That's awesome.
And I'm just letting God take the wheel.
Well, there you go. I love
Letting
that.
God take the wheel. So I'm in this ship and I'm just focused.
I love
on
that.
And
I love that.
I'm focusing the an area of I do photography. And I do podcasting. I just like to podcast. So, but my focus to be is I want to be a executive director. That's my dream.
That's your dream.
Yeah, that's
Executive director as in film?
Yeah, film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because executive director can be in many different aspects, but we're talking film, executive director.
Yeah, many movies right now.
That's
many
awesome.
Movies, yeah.
So have you got, are you somebody that has some ideas for movies?
Ideas. I got
so
ideas.
you've got it. So, because that's the
I write it
director's,
down.
you just keep it down.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
just keep it down, man.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it just now YouTube too.
Yeah.
King Aces TV. I just launched that too as well just this weekend. So
Okay, King Asa TV.
Yeah, King
Okay.
Asa TV.
Spell your name. Spell Asa for them.
ACESA.
ACESA. King Asa TV.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah, on
awesome.
YouTube.
So what kind of content are you showing there? Or is
Man.
it that the
Vlogs.
Okay.
I did a vlog, and I was just first one I did I was just talking about like God's perspective of life, and he's been giving me like he been feeding me just the word. So
I love this.
Yeah.
This is just giving me chills. I just love this. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I love this. Boy, the anointing God's got on your life. You know, absolutely.
all glory to God.
Yeah. Amen. So who's your church family? Where do you work at?
I'll go to St. Matthew's
Okay.
Holy Missionary Baptist Church, but that's going to change. I think Holy Missionary Full Gospel Church.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be the fullness of it.
Okay.
Fullness of all. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So is this where is it? Is it something that you are facilitating or
No. I go there every Sunday.
Okay. Also, but you're saying they're changing the name?
Yeah, but now it's just Full Gospel. No, now it's just St. Matthew's Holy Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
But the fullness of it, like we the fivefold ministry. So
Okay, I love that.
We got 15 members, so it's small.
Where is it?
Up there by Kroger's, but it's by you turn. I don't know where is it. Like it's by.
Is it like on the same side of the street as Kroger, kind of in behind
No,
it? Or is it across the street?
It's across the street, but it's a down before you get to Kroger's.
Is it? There's a church building there that has.
It's back off in the. It's back off in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I just love how you're just letting God just move in your life. And I think the thing is, when you say you've got just a smaller fellowship, that's how the early church began.
Ooh.
That's how the early church was.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely a place. You just have to walk in where God's taking you and what he's speaking into your life.
Yeah.
And and you're doing that. It's just obvious. It is just so obvious, young man. That is fabulous.
Glory to God, man.
Yeah. I just love this. Acesa Brewer is my guest, and we're talking about. He wanted to come on. We wanted to talk podcasting. It was so interesting when we first started talking. You had not yet launched, and so I was going to, bring some ideas for you to launch. But you've got it going on. You're on Apple and Spotify. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two big ones, and there's a lot of different ways to bring podcasting out there. And the thing, that's one thing I told my principal the other day. We were talking about the students that were going to come into Audio Video 1. And I said, honestly, you could make this a mandatory class because every single one of us are broadcasting every day and we don't even realize it.
Man.
Because of social media.
Man.
And people don't realize the implications of it. And for people who want to have a bigger voice, if you want to just stay in touch with your family and your friends, but you're still broadcasting. You're still broadcasting.
Yeah.
But I said, if you want to be on beyond that and you have a heart or you have a message that like Asa has got, then podcasting is just so easily available for everybody. And anybody can be a professional broadcaster, but you're all broadcasters.
Yeah.
If you're on social media in any way, you are broadcasting.
Yeah.
And you've got to take that. It's a responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to take the initiative to do it and do it consistently.
Absolutely.
Not just do it just every once in a while, but you got to do it consistently. Every day you get up, you got to pop.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah,
So, have you got any leads on sponsors yet?
No,
I ain't got
no sponsors yet.
But that'll come.
Yeah, it will come.
Yeah.
It will come.
And that's the big thing. That's where you start generating income with it.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it as an income driven thing, then that's what you do next.
Yeah.
Just find those people that will get behind you and sponsor. And when you've got something that is faith based, there are people that will come in that just want to, that they are not good at sharing the gospel, but they see that you are,
Yeah.
and so they'll get behind you, and you're like their missionary. And so, you can find those kinds of things that will help fund what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness. So tell me, you've done 5 shows. Can you tell me a little bit about some of them? Make me want to go and tune in. So tell me about some of the little things that'll make me want to go and drive me to your podcast.
The first one I did, it was in my room.
Okay, well that's nothing. You can do, as long as you can get audio content,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
take the audio content. This is like, we're going to take it to school. We're going to set it up we're setting it up as a newsroom. We're going to have a television, image. We're going to have the video and the audio, and we're going to take the audio and put it up on the podcast. But you can grab that audio anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with that. So you had in your bedroom,
in my bedroom, and I was like, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna launch it, but I didn't know how to do it, so I had to get some resources. The resource I got was from he was from Starbucks. He was from Starbucks, and I was just like, man, I'm just trying to launch my podcast. Do you know anybody that got a podcast up? Like, can you explain it to me? Oh yeah, sure. I got some of them. Like, I got I know how to do it. So, and he's from Western Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, Western Kentucky, and I'm from MTSU.
Okay.
I'm an MTSU alumni. So I was like, okay. and then we got it all squared away.
I love that. I'm from West Kentucky, by the way. And that's where I'm from. Yeah. What part of Kentucky was he from? Did he tell you? Just West Kentucky?
Yeah, it was just Western Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, he
very
went to
good.
Western Kentucky.
Oh, he went to the school there.
Yeah,
Okay.
he went to broadcasting too as well.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he went to broadcasting too as well. So
What the people-
Gerald. If I'm not mistaken, Gerald.
The people you meet at Starbucks, right? I love this. I
Yeah.
love this. So he got you rolling. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean, there
he
you
got
go.
me rolling.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's just, hey, listen. So is your first episode just you?
Yeah,
Talking
just
about, hey, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And this is my plan. This is where God's leading me. This is what He's put on my heart to do.
Yeah.
And so you just launch that way. Okay.
Yeah, I just lost it.
How long? How long are you? Do you have like a set time that you're going for?
No, I'm going for longevity.
Okay,
Yeah.
but no, I'm talking
Well-
about it's like your segment here is 7 to 7:30, so it's
Okay.
a 30-minute segment.
Okay.
So on your podcast, how long are the segments?
35 minutes.
Okay.
35, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And-
I encourage you to get a set time
Okay.
because that's when, if you want people to come to your, then I can go and listen to Asa for 30 minutes and know the whole thing.
Okay.
So, rather than being just random, if you can get yourself a set time
Okay.
and say, we're going to do this for 30 minutes and then have you an open and a close. Do you have an open for the show and things like that?
No.
Do you have any musician friends that can give you a couple of, or you can even purchase
Yeah, I purchased.
royalty-free music that you can use.
Yeah.
Get you some kind of just little sounder that go in the front.
Yeah.
These are just things to polish it.
Yeah.
The intros and the outros, and
Yeah.
you'll get some sponsors. And
Yeah.
I guarantee you can find a sponsor pretty quick.
Yeah.
You can. Young
Yeah.
man like you, shoot. If
Yeah.
I had a business, I'd sponsor him. My goodness, what a fun thing! The young man walked here this morning, people. If you're just joining me, I was communicating with him, trying to make sure he got in here. He walked here this morning, took a 40-minute walk. He said, because the GPS said it was going to take him 39 minutes. Of course, he got here quicker because
Yeah.
he's 27 years old.
Yeah.
But, well, that is awesome. I'm so excited. I tell you, let me pause and I'm going to do a break real quick, and then we're going to come back and we're going to continue talking with Acesa Brewer. He is my guest. We are anticipating hearing from Archie Richards, and he is going to be calling me at 7:30 because we've got to talk about something going on with a bill and the state legislature. So he's going to be calling me. I had a little bit of got crossways on scheduling and had them scheduled originally on Monday, and so we had to move them over to this day. But we put it this way, we are definitely going to have Asa back on. This is I'm excited to meet you, and I cannot wait to hear more about what you have going on with your podcast. So let me go ahead and pause. And we'll take our break here, and then we'll come back and we'll continue talking with Asa. And I hope you will also be sure and go and see our sponsors. We've talked a lot about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center because they're just absolute family for us, and we love talking to them. They're out there kind of cleaning up from the weather. If you pulled up their Facebook page, like all of us, they had some storm damage. It seems to be just the plastic and things like that came off of the greenhouses, but that's a lot of work to reattach. And fortunately, we're not seeing freezing sub-temperatures, anything like that tonight that could damage things. But be praying for them. That anytime your business gets hit, that's a hard thing. So, but we are seeing that if you go to their social media page, that's where you stay up to date with them, and you can find out their hours. They are still on winter hours, which is 10 to 4 Monday through Saturday, and Sunday they're there from 1 to 4. They are getting ready for their big Customer Appreciation Day. That's going to be coming up on April 1st. April 1st is their big day that they want you to come out. It's in Full Bloom Festival, Corbin Creek Greenhouse, April 1st at 9 a.m. So they want you to come out for that. And it is, actually, no. They're saying Customer Appreciation. They got 2 events going on, guys. Let me get this straight. Customer Appreciation Day is May 13th. So that's this weekend. They're going to have Customer Appreciation Day this weekend at 9 a.m. And then their big Full Bloom Festival is April 1st. So, man, they're getting it all together and really getting busy. They're going to have planting stations for kids out there this weekend. So, May 13th. I'm in March. Forgive me, Miss Amy. I can't keep my head together today. Okay, let's start over. Just forget everything I just said. Here are the dates. It's not March. This is March. We're talking May. So, okay, Customer Appreciation Day is May 13th. May 13th, and then the Full Bloom Festival is April 1st. I'm in a fog because of all the power outages and things. I just can't keep my head in the game. So anyway, go to the Facebook page, find out all that's going on with Corbin Creek Greenhouse, and when you get by there, of course, let them know that I sent you. You can call them at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield. Customer Appreciation Day is May 13th, not March, May 13th. And then Full Bloom Festival is April 1st. So a couple of big events coming up at Corbin Creek, and we'll continue to talk to you about those. And let them know I sent you. Talking with my friend Acesa. Acesa Brewer is here with us, and I'm just so excited to meet him. One of my students told me about you, and y'all met at the Y. Don't you love how God just puts people together? It is a good thing. He is so good. He is so good. But Asa is here with us. He is a new podcaster.
Yeah.
And he is up on Apple and Spotify. And it is Brewer's Corners. And it is available now. You've got 5 episodes up. So you had the first episode was you. Did you do an interview the second time? Or
Yeah,
was
I did
it more?
interview every.
Okay. So
every time.
talk to me about some of the things that I might hear in some of those. Well, maybe one of the, you think, oh, of the 5 I've done, this is the best moment. You got to check this out.
This is the man.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, they're just
Go listen to all of them, right?
yeah, go listen to all of them, man. Just go. The jewels are dropping. The jewels are dropping.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love
the
this.
jewels are dropping. Like you'll take a listen. Like
So tell me this then. How are you getting your guests? Are these people from your congregation, from your
No.
neighborhood? How are you meeting these people to interview?
from out there, like just randomly, like. But
Yeah.
they're my friends. But
Yeah.
they're just random, like, cause they just want to talk.
Uh-huh.
They just want to talk.
People want to tell their story.
Yeah. So
People want to tell their story. It's
give
a
them-
testimony.
yeah, I give them the platform to do it. I give them platform to do it.
I
So,
love that. What's your Goliath moment? What's your David and Goliath moment? That's his premise, and
Yeah.
I think that's a great premise. And because you've had to face your own Goliath. So, well, so you said how many years ago that you had your stroke?
3.5 years.
Bless. What were you doing at the time? Were you working or?
I was working in Murfreesboro.
Okay.
I was working in Murfreesboro, and man, I came down with something. Prior to that, I was swollen on my legs,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh no, there's nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing."
of course. I mean,
Yeah,
like what, 24 years old at the time, right?
Yeah, no, 23. 23.
Wow, bless your heart.
Man, and I was like, man, I'll get over this. Cause
Sure.
yeah, and I just kept going to work, and then February 8th, 2019.
Wow.
Man, I called my mama, man. I was just like, man, I think I should, man, do better, something, and she said, get some cereal.
Yeah.
And
She
all
might
that
need
other
something to eat. Yeah.
I might need something to eat. Yeah. Okay, I will. So I went back to sleep. Then I woke up, and then I went to the shower, and then when I got out the shower, flatlined, had a stroke.
Wow.
Right then and there, like
Who saved you? Or did you get a hold of 911? What happened?
9-10 hours, I was there by myself.
Oh, Asa. Wow. And I mean, who would have ever, so people just say, hey, where is he? He was missing, and they came looking for you?
No,
That is, oh my gosh. I'm a mama. I've got a son your age. I can't imagine my child going through this. Oh, dear God.
man, and I had
Wow.
out of body experience, man.
Wow. Oh.
Like,
Okay, talk to me. Wow.
but I needed to go through that, because he put it inside me since birth. I didn't know that at the time, but I played football. I played football in college. Then college wasn't working out because I was 3 years in, and it just wasn't working out for me. So I came across music, managing, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I was in it.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things. But it still hurts me to this day, cause football, like my passion was football. Mm-hmm. But now he gets me. Now he gets me where he wants me to be. So
yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
and
so
he just anointed you for something awesome, brother.
yeah.
Oh, I just love this. So, I mean, I want to know more about your story, and so who finally found you?
Oh, Rachel.
Okay. Who is Rachel?
She was one of my sisters.
Okay.
That I let stay with me. And she came in from work.
Oh wow.
And she was sleeping on the couch, and
wow.
She was like, then she came in, and then she opened the door.
Oh wow. And got the emergency folks there, and
Yeah.
How long before you felt like you were in recovery? Were you in?
And I was in the hospital for 3.5 months.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
And I still couldn't talk, and I still couldn't walk, but I could talk a little bit. But
wow.
It was from God. He saved me for a specific purpose, and like I just
wow.
Like I had a blood clot in my brain, so it just one of those things. Just one of those things.
Wow.
Yeah. I was literally dead, but God brought me back for
He's
it.
got a plan for you.
Yeah, he got a plan.
Listen to this man's podcast. Oh my goodness. If that did not inspire you to tune into him and see what he's got going on, you just aren't paying attention. Oh my goodness. Oh, I wish I could just keep you for the whole hour, but I've got another guest coming in here that's going to be calling in, but we've still got a few minutes. Is there anything we're missing that you want to say before we finish up our time today? Because you're going to come back in because we got to talk more.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to some of your shows and then have you in. So does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Maybe we can get you a ride to the studio so you don't have to walk in, you know?
I like to walk, but
okay,
if you can,
yeah, absolutely,
I'll be willing to
I'll
take
come,
the ride.
I'll come give you a ride. Absolutely, my goodness. But it's okay. Anything we're missing that we want to cover before we finish our time?
Man, just I want to tell the people out there, you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Yeah, you bet.
It's like mind over matter. And I took that and I ran with it early in my days. And the mind is a terrible thing to waste.
I love it.
You can do anything and everything that is pertaining to the mental, and you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
You absolutely can. I just love you, young man. This is awesome. Thank you, Jorge, for introducing us. My goodness. He's been telling me, okay, the name, Troy is asking, what's the name of the podcast? It is Brewers Corners. So it's SS. So Brewers, Brewers, Corners.
Yeah.
And that's on Apple, and it is on Spotify. And you can find it. He's got 5 episodes up. For sure worth listening to. I'm already intrigued. I'm going to tune it in and listen to it. About 30 to 40 minutes per podcast.
Yeah, but some of them was longer, like 50 minutes, 55 minutes.
Well, and here's the thing. When I say have a set time, you can take and do your interview and then do it in 2 segments. You don't ever want to cut your... I hate that I'm cutting this interview short. I would love to have you to sit here and talk to you for another 30 minutes. But you do the interview and then do it in 2 segments. So here's part 1, here's part 2. And just so people know that when they come to your podcast, okay, it's because people know they come to One Street Over, it's an hour show.
Yeah.
And you can have an hour. You can make it an hour. And maybe you do 2 interviews, but you kind of decide on a format.
Yeah.
Decide on a set format.
Okay.
And then adhere to that. We'll talk more. I'll message you and we'll talk more, but I cannot wait to check out your show. It's about defeating your Goliaths. What's your David and Goliath moment? And he's obviously come through his own David and Goliath moment. 27 years old and had a stroke 3 years ago. Incredible. The young man walked here this morning. I'm just perplexed. I was so stunned. You've impressed me very much. I hope he's impressed y'all that you're going to go out and listen to Brewers Corners, and it's on Apple and Spotify. Anything else?
Man, nothing.
You're awesome. You're
Yeah.
awesome. And I'll send you a link to make sure you can hook into my Facebook and get a hold of
Yeah.
this and share it and all that.
I'm
Because it's right here, and we'll get it out there. And you can also you can go and see the YouTube from WSGI has got another load in as well, and so you can call them and get it that way. I'm gonna pull up the phone here, make sure I don't miss my phone call, but. We've got, let me pull this up here. Okay, there they are. And we have got the platform on YouTube as well. So I'll send you all those links, and I'll get the link from you, and I'll put it up in comments. I'll make sure.
Yeah.
God bless you, my friend. Oh, Acesa Brewer, what a great young man. I am so excited to meet you. And let's go ahead and we're going to answer this phone call real quickly. Archie, are you with me? Archie, are you with me?
I am.
Okay, hang on just a second while I say goodbye to my friend here, and we'll be right with you. But we are going to finish up with our show, One Street Over, and thank you, Asa. I'm going to let you say bye.
Yeah.
I'd give you a ride, but I'm
No,
not
no,
done
no.
for 30 minutes.
No.
But next time I'll pick you up, young
Yeah.
man, and we'll have you in here, and we'll talk more. But I'm going to check out the show.
Okay.
Thank you for being here, Acesa Brewer, Ace's Corners on Apple and Spotify.
No, Brewer's Corners. Yeah,
Brewer's
Brewer.
Corners,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very ADD. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Brewer's Corners.
Yeah.
Brewer's Corners on Apple and Spotify. Thank you. God
Thank you.
bless. God bless. He's going to do great things. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to transition over and talk with my friend Archie. How are you doing?
I'm
with
doing
me?
well.
And this is I'm U-turn. I don't know. I guess have we ever met?
I don't think we've met in person before. We've talked on the phone.
Okay.
Lee Marie, who is a good friend of yours, is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And
And I think
so
you're involved with the Tennessee Firearms.
that is correct. I'm
Okay.
the West Tennessee director, and I'm a board member of the Tennessee Firearms Association.
Okay, very good. And we had got our schedule a little bit crossways on Monday, and I do apologize, but I appreciate you being able to reschedule and do something different with us. But so what have you got going on as far as there's some stuff coming up, legislation that you need to deal with, and you're wanting to make sure everybody knows what's going on about long guns, kind of, because I'm oblivious. You're going to have to unpack it for
Okay.
me, just like I don't have any idea what's going on, because I've kind of checked out of the mainstream media stuff. So.
Well, you could be a member of the Tennessee General Assembly then, because most of them are clueless as well.
I gotcha. Very good. I hear you. I understand. But, you know, I know that a lot of people don't really, pay attention to what's going on. But, and here's my thing, Archie. My biggest thing is I've gotten so frustrated with it. I've gotten very driven into ministry right now. And so that's really my focus. Bye-bye, Asa. You take care. So that's been my focus. So,
Well, I will say this for the general audience out there, that if in fact you're driven to the ministry, you have to go back to what Christ was talking to the disciples about when he got ready to walk in just before his crucifixion.
Uh-huh.
And he asked, do any of you have a sword? And looked around, and they said, if you don't have one, sell your cloak and get one.
Oh.
Because the palladium of liberty is self-defense. Every one of us, God gave us the right to defend ourselves. You take an earthworm and cut it in half and lay it on the sidewalk, both halves will try to crawl off of that sidewalk in the summertime to survive.
Uh-huh.
The actual basal desire to survive is innate in every sentient being, and God gave us each of those. And so what we have now is a situation where government tries to interpose itself in between the people's God-given rights and what they pretend to be the powers that they have now to restrict or to deny, or in the case of the Second Amendment, to infringe them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have those, but the reason they can get by with it is because people are lazy and recalcitrant, won't stand up and get involved.
Well,
It's the same thing with government that it is with church. People are not going to church. They're not any more interested in it. Everybody is so self-introverted and driven that they don't understand the need to congregate, to stand up, to get together, to be a member of a society anymore. They're expecting government, because we've got a situation now where when you go play soccer as a kid, you get a trophy when you show up. You don't have to be good. You don't have to win. You're going to get a trophy for that. I was listening to a piece of testimony at the legislature the other day by a teacher that said, soccer is what's killed the United States. And the legislature said, what do you mean? He said, well, the simple fact that you don't have to perform to get a trophy to say that you're good has taken away the desire on the part of anybody anymore, or the necessity for them to try to excel, to work out, to be good, to learn the rules. All they got to do is show up, and they're going to get patted on the back.
Mm. Well, and we're talking with Mr. Richard Archie, and he is, again, one of, you said you're the district director?
I'm the West Tennessee director. We've got, there's 3 grand divisions in Tennessee. You see those 3 stars on the flag?
Yes.
Of course, West Tennessee gets forgotten most of the time, except when they need their tax money. They're out there with that hand all the time for that. But I am the West Tennessee director. That means from the muddy Mississippi River over to Middle Tennessee is my area of purview. You were asking a while ago about what we've got going on this year, and we have one of the most important bills before the General Assembly today, and it's going to be in Senate Judiciary Committee. It is Senate Bill 1503, and this thing does 4 things. All of them comport with the Constitution and the Second Amendment they're doing, by the way, but we can't get the individuals at the legislature to pay attention to that, or it's not important to them. I think there's some of both of those, but this bill would simply remove the criminal aspect of carrying a firearm in the state of Tennessee. It is an offense. It's a crime for any person to carry a loaded firearm off of their personal property. Most people say, but I've got a permit. You know, I carry anywhere I want to. No, you can't. It's a crime for you to do that. What your permit is that you pay a tax to achieve, and you got to go take a class in the case of an enhanced carry permit and then prove proficiency with your weapon. You simply bought a defense against prosecution. It is not. It has never removed the criminal aspect of you carrying a firearm. And a number of legislators will say, yeah, well, we don't, we just don't really push that. But there it is. If it's in the statutes, and most folks don't understand that in 1796, Tennessee became a state. The first analog, as the Supreme Court calls for your ability to carry a firearm, at that point was Article 11, Section 26, that said the free men of this state have the right to keep and bear arms for their common defense, period. Now, at the end of the Civil War, to get back in and to make sure that the freed slaves didn't have an opportunity to arm themselves, they tacked on to that a codicil that says, however, the legislature shall have power by law to regulate the wearing of arms with a view to prevent crime. Now, we had a Supreme Court case the same year in 1870 that said, no, here's the way that works, that every person has the right to carry that firearm for their own protection because that Second Amendment says so. And the legislature, unless they prove without a shadow of a doubt with empirical data that any restriction they place on that ability of the citizen to carry a firearm for their own protection, if it doesn't relate directly to reducing crime, then it's unconstitutional. But you can't get any of them people up there at the General Assembly to admit that that's a Supreme Court ruling in Tennessee in 1870. So in 1796, we became a state. In 1801, the General Assembly passed the first law that made it a crime to carry a firearm. And you will hear them say, well, we just can't, as legislators, you can't expect to get the whole apple at one time. I beg to differ with that. The General Assembly reached in and stole the right of Tennesseans to carry a firearm for their personal protection, and see, people don't get that can be against a criminal. It can be against an invader. It can be against your own government, because at the time that we became a state in Tennessee, we had just finished shooting the people who were infringing on our liberties, who were our lawful government, the British at that time. And so what the Supreme Court has said is you have to look at the ratification of the documents at the time that they became ratified. What did the people understand them to be? That this post-ratification mess that we've got across the years is inconsequential and is not valid for scrutiny with respect to the Second Amendment. In fact, the Bruin case that we just had pointed out that the only thing that matters with scrutiny on the Second Amendment is text and history. And so you have to go back and look at what the text and history was at the time of the ratification. And all of our legislators know this because I've been up there and I've told them it. I've testified in their committee meetings. I've written letters. I've advocated. I've done my best to educate, because under the Tennessee Constitution, Article 1, Section 23, it says that we're supposed to instruct our representatives. I take that charge seriously. And there are a number of legislators that say, oh, boy, doesn't he? But the fact of the matter is that that's our job. It's what we're assigned to do. So all that being said, we go back to now we're trying to remove the criminal aspect because it's unconstitutional. Secondly, we're trying to move the age to possess and carry or to perfect a permit for a handgun from 21 to 18. And the reason that we're doing that is we just had a court case filed against Tennessee, Jeff Long v. Beeler, and our new Attorney General's Committee agreed that the plaintiffs were correct and that, in fact, the state of Tennessee had been engaged in a civil rights violation, a federal civil rights violation, against 18-year-olds because when you're 18, you've got to sign up for the draft, you can get married, you can sign a contract, and you can vote. All of your rights as a citizen in the United States vet in you when you turn 18. But the state of Tennessee had said, no, we're not going to allow you to be able to perfect a handgun unless you're in the military. So they cut us up into subsets. And by the way, one of the things that you will find in the Supreme Court's rulings every time it talks about the people, that's every person in the political arena. It doesn't allow you to cut up subsets like law enforcement or judges or attorneys or white people or black people or Asians or Native Americans. If you're a citizen of the United States, you're a citizen. They don't want to see color. They don't want to see what you do for a living, all these things. But what happens in Tennessee is we carve out just horrendous amounts of subsets because it suits somebody with money talking to the General Assembly. So that's the second thing it does. It carries it down, and it satisfies a federal court's order to Tennessee to allow 18-year-olds to carry. So it's not like they're giving up anything. They've been spanked into doing it. Third, what it does is it moves long guns into the permissible set of firearms that you can carry in Tennessee without it being a crime. It is necessary that everybody understand there are only 4 states in the Union that call it a crime to carry a long gun off of your personal property loaded. Those are New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Florida.
That blew my mind.
Every other state in the Union.
I read that.
Every other state in the Union, huh?
I read that when some things that you sent me, and I was like, "Am I reading that right?" Because that's the reason why I said you really need to school me on this, because I was perplexed. I couldn't believe that, because I mean I'm a child of the 60s and 70s and grew up with the that was a status symbol to have your deer rifle in the car or in the truck or whatever. And I am just for the record, I'm a proponent. I don't think the Second Amendment should be infringed in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I mean, it's one of our just very, very foundational rights, and that's the reason why we're still free, y'all. And I have so much respect for it, and dumbfounded when I read that we're one of 4 states that's a crime. That blew my mind. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that blew me away.
No, I appreciate that, because I've been doing my best to educate the general population as well as the General Assembly. But across the board, I had to move from Tennessee to Texas in the early 80s. We had a president at that time put a grain embargo on the Russians, and it killed the concrete business in West Tennessee, so I wound up going to Texas. The first week that I was there, 2 things I noticed: you could drink a beer driving down the road in Texas, and it was okay. It stunned me, having moved from Tennessee to there. I mean, people would stop in on Friday afternoon, pick up a 6-pack, pop top, and drive home. I thought, that's the bravest person I've ever seen. And then and talking to some of the people I went to work with said, what are you talking about, man? That's legal in Texas. They didn't change that until 95.
Wow.
Okay. But the other thing is you could walk around the streets of Dallas, Texas with an AR-15 on a sling on your back, fully loaded with extra ammunition, and it was okay. Because Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, all didn't let you carry a handgun concealed. That was against the law, but you could carry your shotgun or rifle into a bank. I was standing in a bank in Amarillo, Texas, when a young man walked in, and he had his shotgun on a sling on his back in the bank, and nobody looked up or said a word. That's the thing about it, that Tennessee, Everybody thinks when they're moving in here from California that they've moved to the land of the free and the home of the brave with respect to firearms regulations. That's a bunch of hooey. It's not true. We have some of the more strict gun laws in Tennessee than anybody. When we were trying to get enhanced carry permits, now what we call handgun carry permits, every state that touched on Tennessee, with the exception of Georgia, allowed you to carry open without a permit then. And so, you know, from 1870 to 1994, you couldn't carry a handgun at all in Tennessee. And they want to talk about we're the patron state of shooting stuff. That's ridiculous. It's just not so.
And
I'm trying to move.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have to do a break, so pause here for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm so glad that we were able to get you on, and we're talking with Mr. Richie Archie. He is with Tennessee Firearms Association about some of the things going on at the state legislature. They are in session, as we've talked about quite a bit, but we do need to pause and cover one of our breaks. We're going to talk about my friends Cumberland Connect. So thankful. They're one of our full-time sponsors now at 1 Street Over. And it is amazing because, while we had power outages, right? I thought I had a generator, so my power was out, and I didn't even think to try to connect to the internet until Saturday. And I thought, I wonder, because the power outage that was affecting us, we couldn't see, so all the lines were in place. So I thought, I wonder. Cumberland Connect, I plugged it into my generator, and I had internet immediately. I had high-speed internet immediately. So while I didn't have the power, I still had the conveniences of, I have a gas stovetop and things like that. So I was able to survive just fine with my generator and with Cumberland Connect. I could even, watch a movie if I wanted to. And that just blows my mind. I have dealt with poor internet for so long that being able to have this high-speed, great connectivity, a full gig, for $80 a month just blows me away. So if you want to know more, if you are a Cumberland Electric customer, you are going to have a chance to get Cumberland Connect in your home. When? Just message them. You can go to cumberlandconnect.org and put in your address, and it'll tell you. They may already be in your neighborhood. But if you want to find out exactly when they'll be knocking on your door, go to cumberlandconnect.org. Give them a call at 1-800-987-2362, 987-2362. And you can talk to them, too, about the connectivity program that for qualifying households, you could get up to $30 a month to pay for broadband services. So you could get it for free if you qualify. They want to make sure everybody's connected because it is a utility now. And it is something that you need for work, for school, for so many things. It's just like our phone lines used to be. And they want to help you out at Cumberland Connect. Cumberland Connect, powered by Cumberland Electric, and a full-time sponsor here at 1 Street Over. When you talk to them, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. Talking to Richie Archie, and he is with the Tennessee Firearms Association, schooling us on some things that I did not know. So go ahead and continue on, sir.
All right, so the last thing that this bill, Senate Bill 1503 or House Bill 1005 does, is it states the obvious. There is a Tennessee Code section right now that states if what some people would consider a private property, so a business, a restaurant, whatever, if they post, or if they don't post, let me back up and get it correct. If they don't post against the lawful citizen carrying a firearm in their establishment, then they are immune from civil liability for any action which would result from a Second Amendment situation at all. In other words, if you're walking across the parking lot to go into that store and somebody mugs you, does whatever, and they didn't post against your ability to exercise your constitutional right to carry a firearm, you can't sue them. There's no civil liability on their part. Now, what the statute doesn't say is state the obvious, but that if you do post, then you give up that civil liability if you deny the citizen their right to carry a firearm in your establishment, that you can be sued because you have, in fact, taken on the responsibility of providing safety and security for that individual as you disarmed them against their will. And so what this law would do, this bill right now, would just simply go ahead and state the obvious, that if you do post, you lose your civil liability on Second Amendment grounds. And you would have thought that we was trying to throw a hand grenade inside every store in the union. But I think it is necessary that folks understand about that. There's actually a federal code, and it's 42 U.S. Code 1218.1 says definitions, and it's public accommodations. It says the following private entities are considered public accommodations for public purposes of this subchapter if the operation of such entities affects commerce. And then they go to start listing them: an inn, hotel, motel, or other place of lodging. And then it steps down to restaurant, bar, or other establishment serving food or drink, motion picture house, theater, concert hall, stadium, or other place exhibition of entertainment, then auditorium, convention center, lecture hall, or any other place of public gathering, a bakery, grocery store, clothing store, hardware store, shopping center, or other sales or rental establishments, laundromats, dry cleaners, banks, barbershops, beauty shops, just on and on and on forever. So what it boils down to is this: if someone hangs a shingle out and invites the general public in for purposes of commerce, it's no longer private property. It says so in the federal U.S. Code. But getting somebody at the General Assembly to recognize that, even though we've got Article 6, Section 2 of the federal Constitution that says this Constitution and all laws which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States are the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Now, it's awful good they talk about the supreme, and that's the supremacy clause, by the way. General Assembly talks about the supremacy clause all the time. Well, you know, you got that code section 922G, and it talks about all things you can't do, but they certainly don't want to talk about 42 because it says you can't tell me I can't carry a firearm for my own protection there. There's soup going on at the General Assembly that the average person doesn't know about because they're not willing to take the time to do the study that the folks at the Tennessee Firearms Association will do. What we do is we dig deep. We look at the court cases. We look at the laws. We don't necessarily take this pap that the Department of Safety or the Sheriff's Association or the Chiefs of Police or the TBI or any of these people tell us or what they want and for their protection, as opposed to them being servants for the people. It is necessary that the general population understand the Constitution of the state of Tennessee is simply a contract between the people, and it says so right there in the preamble to it, that we, the people of Tennessee, have decided to form a government or a constitution, which means that they're co-equal if the people want to. If the General Assembly would take the time to read the Constitution, they'd understand it, but they don't want to know, and they certainly don't want the rest of us plebeians out here in the hinterlands to do anything but live and die and pay taxes. That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in looking after the interest or the rights and privileges as enumerated in the Constitution, even though they take an oath to do so. And it starts out with they will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and the state of Tennessee. First off, that's everybody that receives money from the state of Tennessee's taxpayers. They have a position of profit. That's the way it's listed in Article 10, Section 1. Must agree to protect and defend the Constitution of the state and take an oath. So that's it, from the dog catcher to the governor. They're all held under the same auspices. They've got to protect and defend the constitutions of the United States and the state of Tennessee. It's important for everybody to understand in 2010, the Supreme Court of the United States incorporated the Second Amendment against the states through the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. In the Bruin decision that we just got handed this year, it says that it's not only an egregious violation for a state to try to usurp your right to carry arms under the Second Amendment, it is a federal civil rights violation under the 14th Amendment. But you can't get the General Assembly to admit that. And I have stood up there and read that into their record a number of times as I've testified in committees, and they still won't admit it. And I don't get that. It boggles my mind to find out that the people of Tennessee are not willing to know enough about their own government and their own constitution to hold these people at the General Assembly accountable.
Okay, now I'm so sorry. We're out of time. What do you need?
Okay.
I need you in like 30 seconds to tell us what you need us to do, and then I've got to go to a break and wrap this up. But and we can give you some more time later on. But what do you need us to do? Tell us real quickly.
Well, everybody needs to look up, go to Tennessee.gov, General Assembly, find the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and call their offices today and tell them to pass 1503.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Okay.
If they don't hear from you, they're going. It's they can operate with impunity. Turn the light on. Shine the light on this group
Right.
up there. Make sure they know.
Right. It's getting involved. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, God bless you so much. And Paul Rainey is going, he goes, am I hearing him right? So you can't even carry with a permit. That's what he's saying, Paul. As far as a long gun, you can't carry a long gun off your property. And that's something that blew my mind too. And so need to check into this, and you need to, how can they find you, Richard? How can they find you?
The simplest way to go is www.tennesseefirearms.com.
Okay.
It's a website, and everybody can sign up there.
Okay.
You can go to Facebook, you can look at us, and you can keep up with what's going on. We're pretty active on that Facebook page.
Okay.
And if you go to our website, you can get free updates on legislation.
Okay. Very good. Check out Mr. Richard Archie and the Tennessee Firearms Association, folks. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk again. God bless you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. And we're going to go out talking about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Oh, my goodness. We had a wonderful time last night at the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center dinner. We got to watch a video that Barry put together. He's just an amazing, he and Rebecca are just awesome people. Love them so much. They're dear friends, and they're always pouring into the community, as they did last night at Open Door. And so if you're looking for somebody in the real estate community, if you need somebody to come and help you at the table, to come in and help you buy or sell, if you've got property that people have just not been given the attention to and you're wondering why, maybe you need new pictures, maybe you need some video, maybe you need some drone footage, Barry can do all that. Rebecca will help make sure all those T's are crossed and every I is dotted. She's been at this a long time. They're up in Cross Plains. They've been there, I think, like 27 years, I think, that they've been Cross Plainians. And so they're Robertson Countyans. They're one of us. And so they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Great friends, great representatives when it comes to real estate, and they have everything you need to get you exactly where you need to be at the real estate table. Contact them today, sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy Robertsoncounty.com. And when you talk to them, thank them for sponsoring One Street Over and tell them U-Turn sent you. Thank you so much for joining us for One Street Over. Have a fabulous day. God bless. This is 1100 WSGI.